Thank you for downloading the TheFlixters podcast. On this week's episode,
the way that he would just get into people's houses, open up the window, get inside your house, stab you, shoot you, basically do whatever he wanted to do with you, rob you, whatever. This guy would do it, and oh my gosh, man, it's shocking, absolutely shocking.
Yeah, so, hats off to them for making a film during, really difficult circumstances. I've got to give it to them for that. But Songbird is shit, just to...
But if you go online and you check the trailer out, man, there's some great looking movies in there, some superhero movies, there's a Western movie.
I really enjoyed it. I know that people that don't really know too much about the character will think, what the heck is this? But you know what? This will really show the power. Every time we see Scarlet Witch, she is...
Hello and welcome to another episode of TheFlixters. I don't know, how are you feeling about doing these podcasts? What's the, how are you feeling about this, all the stuff that we're doing now, with the content that we're pushing out there these days?
Gosh, do you know what? It's great. And just as you mentioned that, I was thinking this week's show, there's a lot of good content on there. We're gonna struggle to keep this into the sort of 50 to 1 hour sort of realm. So let's try and pack it all in. So listen, folks, we have got a film review for you. We're going to be speaking about, we're going to be speaking about a couple of film reviews that we're going to give you. One's a Netflix new exclusive, and the other one is a VOD, right? A Songbird. Yeah, VOD, that's right.
All right. Okay. So listen out for that one. And obviously we've got some anniversary corner of movies, and hopefully if we've got time, we're going to chuck in a hidden gem for you. But before we do any of all that sort of stuff, one of the things that we love talking about on the show is the shout-outs. We love speaking about the people who interact with us, who debate with us, who talk with us. And Val, who are you shouting out?
This week we've got quite a lot of shout-outs. I'm going to have to reel through them, so I apologize in advance. But this week we have... Okay, let's start it. So we've got 40 Turf. 40 Turf, what a name. So basically, a lot of the shout-outs this week are in relation to either Soul and or Lupa. So 40 Turf shouted us out regarding Lupa. We also had Ari Gabison. Ari Gabison was actually in Lupin, and he actually shouted us out as well. So he was in Lupin. He was a security guard in the Louvre.
Wicked.
And he was actually in the film.
This is at the reach of the Flixters, folks. Listen, seriously, man. We're on it. Ari Gabison.
That's a good one. Yeah, but so 40 Turf actually was shouting us out about Wonder Woman, and said there was too much talking, not enough action, didn't like it. Wonder Woman, there's a lot of people not happy about that one. And Miss Alice O. Commented about Lupin, saying that she loved it as well. Every Day with Erica Joy, she loved Lupin. Said it was a bit unrealistic, but she still found it entertaining. Yeah. Thank you. Every Day with Erica Joy. And then we also have Unapologetically Deja 08. Said that she found Soul a bit boring, actually. So we're getting a lot of good comments here about, whatever if you like it or you don't like it, it's cool. We just want to know. Don't cry, don't beg. Wants to watch Soul as well. And Zakharov, our very own Zakharov, he's posting some new content, actually, which we're going to maybe talk about in a few weeks. So thank you very much, Zakharov. The rest of the shout-outs really go to One Division as well, actually. So Lego minifigure says that he'll keep up with One Division, because some people found it a bit boring or a bit weird. And then our friend Zachariah _Campbell has said, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there, very subtle for non-comic readers, but for people that don't really understand the characters, they might find it boring. But to stick with it, because the Easter eggs will reveal themselves soon. Also, the actual show will actually it will change. It won't be all to do with the old 50s, 60s, and 70s TV show. It's just a bit of a quirk that they're putting in there. Bath79 also said that he liked it, and there's a lot of House of M references. House of M is a really, really famous comic from back in the day with X-Men and Scarlet Witch, and she actually does something to do with reality, which we might see coming up soon. So there's a lot of shout outs this week. So thanks, guys. Keep it going. Keep it coming
Exactly.
in.
And obviously, I've got to mention just quickly on Facebook, we got 19 Kiki D and our very own Stephania. They were basically, you know, on Facebook as well. And they were kind of like chatting about WandaVision and stuff. And, you know, we kind of got in touch with, you know, those two and kind of we said our little thing. But yeah, we'll speak a bit more about WandaVision, you know, later on in the show. So listen, you know, keep listening to that, you know, and you might find that interesting. But before then, let's do some movie news about it. I haven't heard about Jordan Peele's like latest movie or any latest project that he's working on. I know you saw The Twilight Zone, and you said, you know, there were some really good episodes in there. What's he working on now?
Yeah, so you know, you're exactly right. We just don't know what it's going to be about. I know a little while ago he was talking about how he might be involved in something a bit more sci-fi. We don't know, but what we do know is that Daniel Kaluuya and Jesse Plemons are rumored to be in his next movie. And we already know Daniel Kaluuya was in his first sort of major, his first full movie, wasn't it? Really, with Get Out, and he's a great actor. Jesse Plemons has been in a bunch of things. He was in, I remember him in a good episode of Black Mirror, where it was like a Star Trek parody.
Yes, I remember that.
But he's been in a really good episode. But he's been in a bunch of things, and he's a really good actor as well. So, you know, if those two are going to be in Jordan Peele's next movie, I think, you know, before the script is written, I think it's going to be a good film.
And he's got that Jesse Plemons. He's got this kind of like face. I don't know where. I don't know if it's his eyebrows or what's going on. He's got something going on with his eyebrows or something like that. But he's just got that face where, when he's on the screen, you just kind of like fixated on him, and it's just weird. But yeah, he's a great actor. So yeah, we'll definitely look forward to that. But you know what? We don't know if it's going to be a horror though. Is Jordan Peele sticking to the horror thing? Because we know, obviously, Candyman. We know Candyman. He's attached to Candyman, right?
Yeah, I think no matter what, it's going to be weird. Whether it's going to be horror, whether it's going to be a mix of horror and other elements, we know it's going to be weird. So, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see what we actually get. But either way, I mean, I'm looking forward to it regardless. So, you know, I mean, we know where, you know, Daniel Kaluuya is going to be in Judas and the Black Messiah. That's coming out next month in February. So look out for that one too.
Great. Listen, Deval, I've just got to say three things and then we'll see what happens. Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, nothing happened. Nothing happened. So listen, folks, fans of Beetlejuice, is there anyone out there who are fans of Beetlejuice? I mean, I definitely am a fan of Beetlejuice. This crazy Tim Burton movie from the 80s, starring Gina Davis, Alec Baldwin, isn't it? Yes, Alec Baldwin's in it. And obviously Michael Keaton, Batman.
Michael Keaton was Beetlejuice.
Exactly. So listen, look, Johnny Depp apparently is in talks with the studio to be playing Beetlejuice. So Tim Burton is obviously looking to kind of like, you know, recreate that whole world of Beetlejuice. But I mean, I'm thinking, shit, man, you could still bring on board Michael Keaton. Why bring on Johnny Depp?
Yeah, I guess if it's going to be Burton loves Johnny Depp, doesn't he? He loves him. He's been in lots of his films. So I think he's kind of sticking to who he knows and what he knows. But I think Johnny Depp is a weird guy, and I think he probably could do a job on Beetlejuice. I reckon though it should be someone younger and someone a bit, you know, different, you know, but I guess, yeah, Burton sticking with what he knows.
So apparently Tim Burton, he kind of was online recently and he said, this is what he had to say. He said, the film is a go and has been approved by Warner Brothers team. We have talked with the cast members we wanted for the film and they are all on board. This includes both Winona and Michael. But now...
Winona
Ryder. Yeah,
because
she was in it as well. And it's like, yeah, man, how can you have a Beetlejuice movie without having Michael Keaton? I don't know, but we'll see what happens. People out there might remember Johnny Depp. He lost his libel case against Amber Heard. He got kicked off the what was the Harry Potter film? I can't remember something Harry Potter.
Fantastic Beasts.
That's it, Fantastic Beasts. So he got kicked off that. So yeah, man, we don't know if he's kind of been blacklisted, but we'll wait and see what happens. Other news, developed Mackie and Pratt. So tell me, what's up with this new sci-fi movie that they're talking about?
Yeah, so Chris Mackie and Chris Pratt have both been involved in a sci-fi movie called The Tomorrow War. And this, as we know now, cinemas or theaters, as y'all Americans say, yeah, it's like with the pandemic, a lot of cinemas have been closed, or just I guess things have changed really. So a lot of studios are now selling their movies directly to either Amazon or Netflix or whoever it may be. So yeah, this one's a good example. The Tomorrow War is a man. It's about a man who was drafted in to fight a future war. Basically, fight in a future where the fate of humanity relies on his ability to confront his past. So you're fighting for your future, but against your past. That's a bit of a mad one. So this is supposed to be coming out in July 2021. So if they have now rumored to be getting offered 200 million
What?
for this
That's
film already.
mad.
Yeah, 200 million. Exactly, that's a lot of money. So if that's going to be the case, that's one of the biggest amounts of money that like Amazon or someone has paid for a movie. So yeah, it's looking like it could be a good bank day for Chris and
Wow,
Chris.
man, 200 mil, man, that's crazy. And like again, it's gonna heat up the whole streaming wars. So yeah, you got people like Netflix obviously pumping in millions into productions, and obviously if Amazon pick this up, this is going to be big news for them. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there. Now let's kind of move into kind of Marvel territory right now, Devado. So Kevin Feige, we've mentioned this so many times on the show before. If you haven't heard of the name Kevin Feige, do a search. But he's the guy behind the MCU. He's pulling the strings behind all the movies that we've seen over the last 10 years. And what's he up to now? What is he? What are they bringing us? What's he bringing us?
Yeah, I mean, basically, he's sort of laid the law on what's coming out on Disney Plus about some of the shows. Obviously, we know One Division's just come out. We'll talk a bit about that later. We've got Falcon Winter Soldier coming out. We got Loki coming out. We got She-Hulk. All the rest of it, But he was just saying that some shows are going to be like half an hour. Some shows are going to be a bit more. So the first 2 episodes of One Division are half an hour each, pretty much. And then the rest are going to be a bit more. Winter Soldier is going to be a bit more than half an hour. But She-Hulk, he did say that will be half an hour or less. And there's a reason behind that because, Marvel don't have the full sort of rights for Hulk. They have the distribution. No, Marvel have the rights to make or involve that character in a production when it comes to the movies. But when it comes to TV, they have the rights to then do shows that are half an hour or less. And that also applies for Spider-Man stuff as well. So that's why for She-Hulk and anything, if they were to do Spider-Man shows, it will have to be half an hour or less. So it's a bit of a technicality there that the legal team had to make sure they had rights.
That's crazy. And talking about She-Hulk, I mean, if the rumor is to believe. Now, were you a fan of Jessica Jones, Deval?
Yeah, I like Jessica Jones. She was
good.
all right.
For me, anyway, the first season was absolutely brilliant. It was great. I loved that whole setup. Look, I loved all of those. Iron Fist was obviously the weakest of the bunch out of the Defenders. But listen, the rumor is that what's her name? Kristen Ritter is in talks to reprise her role as Jessica Jones in She-Hulk. So you've got these 2 badass women, appearing in this Marvel show, in this Disney Plus show. I mean, I think it's going to be great. But also, this could be kind of like a reintroduction of those characters. Could we then see the Punisher turn up in something? Could we then see, Iron Fist turn up in something and Luke Cage turn up in something? We'll speak a bit about Daredevil in a bit. But yeah, man, what do you reckon? Do you think we could see kind of this happening?
Not if. I think yes, but I don't think it's going to be massive introductions or massive involvements. But yeah, I think they're going to start mixing and matching throughout the MCU, Disney Plus, and also the movies for sure.
Keep it locked, folks, because there's going to be big stuff coming on. And I kind of mentioned Daredevil, Charlie Cox. If the rumor is to be believed, and I've kind of gone online and I've kind of double checked. I've checked with my sources, folks, and apparently Charlie Cox, the actor who played Daredevil for, obviously in the Netflix TV shows, he's actually wrapped up his filming for his part for the Spider-Man 3 movie. So, Deval, do you remember maybe about a month ago, we were talking on the show, we were just talking some shit, and we were just saying, imagine if Daredevil, he's in Spider-Man 3, he plays like Spider-Man's lawyer or something, and it's a possibility, right?
Yeah, no, it's a distinct possibility. I think that's a really good matchup actually because they're both New York based. They're both, characters that are intelligent. He needs a lawyer. He's a lawyer. Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and I think in the comics as well they have mixed and matched as well to get the job done. So I think that's a very very likely partnership there.
We don't know if he's actually going to be playing Daredevil or if he's going to be playing Matt Murdock. Most likely, probably Matt Murdock. But
Yeah.
it's just interesting the fact that they are looking to kind of introduce these characters, in the kind of wider MCU Sonyverse or whatever you want to call it. But that's great. We'll obviously keep you posted on all of that news. And talking about, and again, another kind of Marvel project that's being worked on, Moon Knight, Devaldo. Tell us about this because this is kind of this is interesting as well.
Yeah, Moon Knight. As we know, Moon Knight's going to be played by our Star Wars pilot. I keep forgetting his name.
Oh,
What's his name again? What's Poe's name?
Oscar.
Oscar Isaac. That's the one. Yeah. So yeah, they've now confirmed that in the Moon Knight series, none other than Ethan Hawke will be playing the main villain. So I mean, that Ethan Hawke is a big character. He's a big character. For them to land, I guess even Oscar Isaac, he's a big character too. But Ethan Hawke has been around for a long time, and if they're able to land him as a villain, then I think that's going to be like real good news for the show, really. So I'm interested to find out who the villain might be. Actually, the villain, because Moon Knight has obviously different villains. There's one called Bushman. Bushman's like a what's he like? He's almost like a, I don't know. I don't want to say he's a typical villain, but he's quite a good villain of Moon Knight. He's quite intelligent, and he's obviously strong and all that kind of stuff. And so I mean, it could be anyone. Maybe I could be wrong. It could be someone that we totally don't know. So we just have to wait and see what more news we get as it comes up. But yeah, he's a very, very old character, Bushman.
Wow, what a name.
What a name. Rahul Bushman, that's his name. But he's the oldest nemesis of Mark Spector. So, but actually, I say some of his powers. Okay, so peak human physical ability. He's got razor sharp metal teeth, a bit like Jaws in
Wow,
Bond.
do you remember that? Yeah.
and he carries a lot of weapons. So yeah, he's a bit of a sort of a bit like, maybe you can call him a bit like what's his name from the one that was going to be in Black Panther, the sort of the hunter,
Craven.
you know what I'm talking about. Craven the Hunter. Thank you very much.
Yes.
You saved me. Yeah, so think of him as a bit like Craven the Hunter. So yeah, I mean, that could be interesting. So let's see what happens with
that one. Yeah, I mean, we kind of spoke about the casting of Oscar Isaac, so we'll see kind of how that all pans out. But yeah, hopefully some good stuff comes out of it. Now, there's other huge big news, and obviously we kind of. We didn't really speak about it last week, but let's kind of mention it right now. But Deadpool, the big news there is that Deadpool is 100% going to be joining the MCU. And Kevin Feige, he came out, he just reported this. He said, not only is Deadpool going to be joining the MCU, but it's also, the next Deadpool movie is also going to be R-rated. Now, you and I, Deval, we had this conversation. Are they going to go the R-rated route? What are they going to do about all the fans that they built up from Deadpool 1 and 2? What's going to happen with all of that? And yeah, now we know Disney are going to be behind this movie, this R-rated movie, which is mad, crazy, great news, right?
It's great news, yeah. I'm glad that they're keeping it R-rated, because you can't water down Deadpool. That's when you start getting, Wolverine origins. But I just want to see what it's going to be like, him interacting with certain characters and just seeing how far he can go with when he's in their movie, because in their movies, it's going to be PG-13 or whatever it is, So that means you can only have only one F-bomb. You can only say the F word once in a PG-13 film. Yeah, only once you're allowed. So yeah, I'm sure he'll use that shit up. You can imagine that'd probably be the first thing he says, and he'd be like, "Oh damn."
And it'd be great where he gets it out of the way first. He goes, let me just get all my swearing out the way. And he goes, fuck. That'd be brilliant. But listen, so just briefly, Kevin Feige said it will be R-rated, and we are working on a script right now. And check this out. He said, and Ryan's overseeing a script right now. Damn, Ryan Reynolds, man, he's got power.
He's got creative power, man. He's done the first, done the second, so they're letting him. I think that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Yeah, he'll do a good job. And he's got time. It's not coming out till 2023, I believe. So he's got time.
Exactly. So obviously, folks, we're definitely going to keep you posted on that one. Now, we kind of mentioned this news last week. I want to just kind of quickly, briefly just talk about it. Do you remember that whole saga with Ray Fisher and Walter Hamada and the whole thing about him getting written out of the next Flash movie? Could it be that his career now is blacklisted?
Yeah, I think with that studio and that. Yeah, I think they're not going to touch each other again. That sounds a bit mad, but yeah, they're not going to work with each other. But I hope it doesn't ruin his whole career. I mean, things happen, but yeah, I hope it shouldn't ruin his whole career. I'm sure if shit gets worse, someone like Tyler Perry will come in and give him a role or two. I hope so.
Exactly. The streaming services are there, man. Ray, listen, we're behind you, man. All right, okay, so Devaldo, Return of the Cap. Tell us about this.
Yeah, it's a quick one. So Captain America, I hear that he should be coming back to the MCU in some way, shape or form. And I don't know what that means. It could mean, I know for sure he's going to come back in the What If, the animation. But there's more. People say he's coming back as Captain America, the human live action form. And I thought he retired, man. I thought he hung it up. I thought he's an old man. Don't let them, don't ruin it. Because I want Cap to be back, but I think he ended on a high. So I think they should leave him alone, let him retire. But from what I hear, he's coming back, and I'm not really keen on that.
I know.
To be honest.
I just want him to kind of bring, because Kevin Feige, he's been out there. He said, listen, there will be more Avengers movies, but obviously not the Avengers that we know now. So they've got to rebuild the team up, hopefully Spider-Man's part of it or whatever, or maybe new characters like WandaVision and stuff like that. So will Captain America? I don't know. Maybe it could be a flashback. So I don't know. It's just really weird, the talk of it. But yeah, there's one camp which is like, no, leave it, let him be. He hooked up with Peggy, and but there's another group which is like, no, man, we want to see Captain America again. So yeah, I'm not too sure, Deval. I'm with you on that one. Just maybe leave him be for a little while.
Yeah, definitely leave him out.
All right, okay. Tell us about Crazy Samurai. This sounds interesting.
Yeah, I saw the trailer with this and I thought this is crazy. But yeah, there's a film that's coming out soon, and it's called 400 versus 1. And
this is mad.
400 versus 1. Yeah, it's called Crazy Samurai 400 versus 1, and this is a samurai sort of karate film, and this is a film where somehow they have made a 77-minute single take fight scene.
This is mad.
Crazy.
This is crazy, man.
That's crazy. So this is like something that's never been done before. 77 minutes is an hour and 17 minutes of no cut, just straight up fighting. And I've got a feeling that this is going to look crazy.
Yeah, man.
I would love to see the scene and look at the background and see what people are doing, because I'm sure some people are going to be like pretending and shit. So yeah, when it comes out, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see this movie as well, man. I want to see it. Just sounds great, man. The feat of them actually putting this together is going to be great. So yeah, we'll keep we'll keep our eyes on that one. Now, listen, I want to briefly just mention this. I'm going to try and break this down as quickly as possible, but Armie Hammer is getting hammered. The actor Armie Hammer. I remember Armie Hammer when I first saw him in The Social Network. He played kind of like a double role, the Winklevoss brothers, and they used a bit of CGI trickery there, but it was basically Armie Hammer. He was playing both characters, right? But check this out. Armie Hammer, he separated from his wife recently. They were married for 10 years. And just very, very recently, Devaldo, his Instagram account got hacked, and somehow his messages, his Instagram messages, his DMs, they had been posted out on the internet.
Serious?
Right, and check this out. If we're to believe the shit that he said, right, this is mad. Things like this guy is behind, like he's seriously into bondage. He's behind Leslie, some of the text message where he said, text me about me breaking your bones while raping you, and I'll send you the voice note while I come reading it.
What? No, you're joking.
I swear to God, shit you not. Check this out. Other messages show Hammer allegedly claim he's, in quote, 100% a cannibal, where he says things like, I want to eat you. Oh, that's so scary to admit. I've never admitted that before. And I need to drink your blood.
What?
This guy is absolutely off his rocker, if this is true. One screenshot allegedly showed him asking a lady if he could cut off one of your toes and keep it with me in my pocket so I always had a piece of you in my possession.
Nah, this is some crazy shit. And this goes into some of the box sets we're going to watch. There's some crazy people out there, yeah?
This is
Don't
bad.
think that people that are rich and famous are, are separate from that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are... Mate,
exactly.
That's
and
mad.
That is, and basically his ex-wife has kind of come out and she was being interviewed and she's kind of said some stuff like, he's been into lots of fantasy stuff and like lots of crazy things that, oh man, it's weird. You just got to basically search online, go Army Hammer, like Instagram messages, and you're going to read all that shit. But basically things are going down. And he was supposed to be starring in a movie with Jennifer Lopez, and they were supposed to be filming in Dominican Republic. And he basically came out and he said, in light of what's going on, I've decided to step away from that project, so I won't be filming in the Dominican Republic. And he's basically off the project.
Serious?
Yes.
That's mad.
That is mad.
No, that's mad.
That is mad. But you know what, folks? We're going to end on the movie news with something else that's pretty mad. Netflix, basically the number one streaming service right now. Netflix, they've released the kind of preview of the films that they're going to be releasing in 2021. And oh my gosh, I don't have the time. Put it this way, it would be an episode for Deval and I just to talk about the movies that are going to be coming out. But if you go online and you go onto YouTube and you type in the preview of the films that they're going to be showing in 2021, oh my gosh, they've got movies where they've roped in Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and The Rock, Red Notice, Army of the Dead, Back to the Outback. They've got so many movies that are basically coming out in 2021, like big budget movies starring huge Hollywood actors. It's absolutely crazy. For some of these big movies, we don't know exactly, obviously Red Notice, we don't know when that's coming out. But if you go online and you check the trailer out, man, there's some great looking movies in there, some superhero movies. There's a Western movie that looks really great. It's got an all African-American cast in there that looks really great. It's set, I love my Westerns, Deval. I know you don't like them, but this looks really great. There's some really, really good ones in there. Go check it out. And man, it's a showcase for 2021, man. Bring on the streaming wars, I say.
That's good. Can't wait for that. And that's going to be good for us as well.
Exactly. So. All right. Okay. Now, Devado, I love this section of the podcast. We're going to speak about Boxset watch list. Now, you've got some great ones for us. We kind of mentioned these before, slightly a bit, one last week and something we kind of hinted at just before now. But yeah, take us through the Boxset watch list.
Yeah. So first of all, I'll quickly sort of whiz through these. Lupin came on Netflix, and like I said in the beginning, a lot of our fellow Flixters responded on social media to this one. This is a 5-part series, mini-series, which is I won't spoil it, but yeah, it's a really clever, slick, stylish sort of heist show. Reminds me a little bit of Ocean's 11, a bit of Money Heist as well, and it stars Omar Sy as the main star. He's very, very, very famous in France. He's been in Untouchable in 2011. Probably we'll see that on our anniversary films this year. Jurassic World, he was in X-Men, been in Transformers, and a bunch of things. But yeah, Lupin is a story of a fictional gentleman thief from back in 1905. It was created by a French writer. So he basically, idolizes this gentleman thief, and that's what the show's about. Really, it's a lot more to do with other stuff as well. But the way he steals is very slick and very gentlemanly about it. But yeah, it's quite a good show. Everyone I know that's watched it so far enjoys it. So give that one a watch on Netflix.
Yeah, defo. This next one, Devaldo, let's just quickly talk about this. It's called Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer. This is on Netflix, folks. And if you have not seen this, please do make some time for this. It's only it's 4-parter, isn't it? It's only 4 episodes, I think.
4 parts.
Yeah, limited. I didn't know anything about this serial killer, Richard Ramirez, man. This whole thing was just kind of really new to me, but it's basically a documentary about this serial killer who was a flipping Satanist who was basically, believed in the devil, thought he basically was the devil, and he went on a murderous spree in the 80s. And it took the kind of the LA Sheriff County Department like about 180 days to catch this guy, and eventually he did get caught. And this documentary goes into the 2 main police officers who were leading the investigation, but also it focuses in on the horrific murders, man. This guy was absolutely evil, Deval. He was mad. This guy was crazy. Raping, he was abusing little kids. The thing that shocked me was it wasn't just adults, he was like little kids. Old women, he would just go into the way that he would just get into people's houses, open up the window, get inside your house, stab you, shoot you, basically do whatever he wanted to do with you, rob you, whatever. This guy would do it, and oh my gosh, man, it's shocking, absolutely shocking.
I heard about this before because I do like these shows, but I've never seen it in this much detail. And the reason he's one of the world's worst serial killers. He's in that top 10 list for sure.
Yeah.
But you're right, the way he did it was so random that they couldn't link it. That's what was so difficult. And the victims were all random. He is, I'm not going to spoil it with what happens. So definitely watch it on Netflix. You can watch it in an evening easily.
Yeah.
If you don't like this sort of thing, I'll say stay away from it because it is very, very sensitive. It's very shaky
it is.
For some people. So a bit of a warning there. But if you're into these sorts of shows, then you really, you'll appreciate the police work and also maybe a little bit of the psychology around that sort of thing. So
exactly.
Yeah, and that leads on to Very Scary People. Ooh. Which is on Sky at the moment. I'm not sure where you'll get it internationally, but on Sky documentary. And this again goes into, scary people, a bit like the previous case of serial killers and all sorts. And this is a show that's introduced or hosted by Donnie Wahlberg. And it really, each episode talks about, serial killers, basically, people that are really bad. We're talking about the Ed Geins of the world. We're talking about the Edmund Kempers of the world. We're talking about the Eileen Voorhees of the world. We're talking about all those sorts of people that, that have been really, their cases have been really famous, Charles Manson and all those people. So, yeah, it's really interesting. That's another one to watch as well. Very Scary People.
Yeah, man, there's some sick people out there in the world, folks, and kind of these documentaries. And you spoke about the Ripper. We spoke about the Ripper kind of a couple of episodes ago and stuff. Man, there's all this shit out there, and oh man, it just kind of makes your blood boil sometimes. But listen, so if you're into that stuff, go ahead and watch it. Now, we've got a couple of things that are new on streaming. So we've mentioned this at the top of the show. So WandaVision, this is the kind of it's been 2 years, man. It's been 2 years since Homecoming. No, since Spider-Man Far From Home, right? Has it been 2 years?
Yeah, no, it's been like a year and a half. Sorry, that was July 2019.
A year and a half. So this is kickstarting Marvel's Phase 4. So this is kind of like we always knew this was going to be a big year. 2021 was going to be a big year, and Deval's already mentioned. We got Loki, we got Falcon. That's all coming. But yeah, WandaVision, we've been so excited. I've been really, really super excited. And they teased us, basically. It's just 2 episodes. You've got to go out, you've got to watch these 2 episodes. And the chit-chat on the interwebs, Devaldo, is a lot of people are like scratching their heads over this. And you know what? The reaction that I got from it was, bring it on, man. We're going to get deep into the whole psychology of WandaVision, like what's going on with her. You mentioned before about her bending realities, and is this a world that she's created? Is she being manipulated? You mentioned the House of M, and you kind of there's loads of kind of like, Easter eggs with the comic books, and, Zachariah, he kind of like mentioned all this sort of stuff as well. So what did you make of the first 2 episodes?
No, I really enjoyed it. I know that people that don't really know too much about the character will think, what the heck is this? But you know what? This will really show the power. Every time we see Scarlet Witch, she is shown to be more powerful. So this is showing her on the next level of power. Not going to give her any spoilers at the moment, but all I'll say is that bit by bit, we're seeing that all is not as it seems. So look out for those little details. And I think in an episode or 2, or maybe 2 or 3 episodes, actually, we'll start to see the real world blend in and overtake what we're seeing. So, yeah, stick with this one. It's really, really good. I can't wait for it to unravel.
Exactly. And Amazon, they just basically released The Stand, which is the new miniseries version of Stephen King's novel, The Stand, which is this great kind of like apocalyptic like version. I remember watching in 93, I think it was, I remember it was a 3-parter that they showed like kind of on Sky like years and years and years ago. I remember watching that. That was kind of like pretty scary. But yeah, this is kind of updated version starring Whoopi Goldberg, Greg Kinnear, Alexander Skarsgård, James Marsden. So it's got like a whole host of actors in the movie. But yeah, man, it's only 5 episodes, and it's based on a Stephen King novel. And this is a big one. This is one of Stephen King's most popular like novels. There's like a multitude of characters in there, and it's about this kind of, about this fight between good and evil. That's all I'm going to say. It's out on Amazon. If you haven't seen it, I haven't seen it, but it's definitely on my watch list. But yeah, if you're a fan of Stephen King, you got to watch it basically.
Okay, nice one. Thanks for that.
Yeah. What else we got? Oh, I want to speak about this one now. We've already been speaking about kind of serial killers. Devaldo, Clarice Starling. Now, Silence of the Lambs. Do you remember? Obviously, you remember it. There was obviously Anthony Hopkins. He won the Oscar for it, or it won the Oscar. This great kind of psychological drama. Hannibal Lecter. This kind of serial killer. And Clarice Starling, she's the FBI agent who goes to interview or goes to speak to Hannibal Lecter so that he can give his insights on how she can track down, I've forgotten his name now, the guy, the serial killer that
Hannibal Lecter.
So the other serial killer that they're trying to hunt in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yes. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's the one, the weird one.
The weird one.
He was, I think they kind of shaped him around Ed Gein, who used people's skin.
That's it.
To make like household like decorations and stuff like that. But I can't remember the guy's name.
He'd kill them, he'd wear their skin and stuff like that, right? Okay, so now Clarice is a continuation of Clarice Starling's career, basically, and it's set 1 year after the events of Silence of the Lambs. So Clarice Starling, she solved that murder. She got the help of Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter, he escaped and everything from the movie. So this is focusing in on what happens to Clarice. There isn't a focus on her relationship with Hannibal Lecter, although when you see the trailer, there is kind of flashbacks of that kind of interaction going on. It looks interesting, it looks decent, and I think it's got to be one that you invest your time in. Obviously, if you're fans of the novel, fans of obviously the film and Hannibal, the TV show, it looks good. It's going to be decent. I'm going to give it a go if I can find it. It's out on CBS in America. International, I'm not sure who's going to pick it up, Deval.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this. I'll find it. I'll be like Liam Neeson. I will find this wherever it is, and I'll get into it.
Exactly. Also out is the trailer for the Russo brothers' new film.
Buffalo Bill. Sorry, Buffalo Bill. That's the serial killer's name they're trying to find.
That's it. Yeah. So Cherry is the new movie from the Russo brothers starring Tom Holland. You spoke about it a week ago, a couple of episodes ago, and there was kind of like this teaser trailer. But now the teaser, the trailer, the full trailer is out there. And yeah, man, it's kind of got so many it's got a vibe, Dead President's vibe it had to it. He plays kind of like a war vet. He suffers from post PTSD. He comes back to kind of like, the normal, the real world. And then he goes off on some robbing sprees. So yeah, it's interesting seeing Tom Holland play this character. It's going to be on Apple Plus, by the way.
Oh, it's going to be an Apple one. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So go check that one out. And finally, I want to mention this. This is going to be a Netflix exclusive. This is a documentary on legendary football player Pelé, the Brazilian. He's basically a god in Brazil. And this story, directed by Kevin MacDonald, he's this Oscar-winning film director. He's put together this story about obviously the life of Pelé growing up in the slums of Santos. I think it's from Santos, and in Brazil. And yeah, man, it's going to be this warts and all story about what it was like for Pelé growing up in Brazil. Encountering racism, scoring all those goals, those wonderful goals, and being behind in 1970, the Brazilian team was one of the best teams ever.
Dream team,
Flipping, man, brilliant, man. Honestly, one of the greatest teams. So I can't wait to watch this, man. This looks great.
Yeah. What do you think about? How about the timing? The timing that this is coming out after Maradona's passed away. Is he now trying to say to everyone, "Oh well, I'm the best"?
Exactly. It does smell a bit of that, and you're right about the timing because I think Maradona, he passed away. It's been a couple of months ago, right now.
Yeah, I think even slightly less than that. I don't think it's even been a couple of months.
Wow. But yeah, so go check that trailer out. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's coming out on Netflix. That's coming out next month, so not too long for that one. Football fans or soccer fans out there, go check it out. All right, okay, Devaldo, Anniversary Corner. Let's get through these, man. What you got for us?
Yeah, we're going to sort of whiz through some of these. And the first one is Contagion. This is a bit of a link to our main movies to review some of these Anniversary Corners. So Contagion, 10 years ago, 2011. This film was one of the highest sort of on-demand or downloaded movies during the first wave of the coronavirus, because this had very scary, similar, similarities to the coronavirus. It started out allegedly started out in China. It was another disease that was airborne, and it had links to sort of food contaminants and stuff like that, and it spread all over the world and people died. So Contagion, really, really clever film. Matt Damon stars, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, Lawrence Fishburne, Gwyneth Paltrow, and also directed by Steven Soderbergh. So yeah, this is a really, really good. If you haven't seen this film, you need to see it, or maybe you shouldn't. It might scare you more actually, but it's a really good film. Very slick, very stylish. Not too long, hour 40 minutes. So yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, man. Do that. What's next?
Next, we got Children of Men. And this is a film that some people rate really, really highly. Children of Men is a 2006 film, stars Clive Owen, Julianne Moore. It's a dystopian near future, so it's 2027. So for us, it's only 6 years' time.
Yep.
In a chaotic world where women have become somehow infertile. So no more babies. A former activist agrees to help transport a woman who's become miraculously pregnant to a area of safety. So she's the last woman to actually bear a child. So you can imagine that's very important in a world where children are no longer, able.
Yeah.
Really, really good film. A bit of action. Lots of sort of science in this film. It's like a bit of a Mad Max situation. Everyone for themselves. And there's a good scene in the car. There's a really powerful scene in the car where they're being chased by a motorbike. And I heard it was done in like one take or something, but it's really intense. The camera pans around and they're all trying to protect this woman who's obviously got a child and who's pregnant, and it's just crazy.
Mad.
And oh man,
I love that
good
scene.
film.
It's
if you haven't seen this film, I know you like it. I think you spoke about it before. Actually,
we did. We've spoken about it before. Alfonso Cuarón, he's the film director. Ooh. Yeah, man, he's brilliant. He's really, really great. Check out his other films. But yeah, man, you just mentioned that film,
Gravity, and Roma. Both Oscar films.
Say no more.
So this one, Clive Owen, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Julianne Moore, Sir Michael Caine. Next film is 2001, The One. And this one, how many times can I say one? So this film is Jet Li, Delroy Lindo, who we saw in The Five Bloods, Carla Gugino, who is in this film as well. Jason Statham is in this one. This is an action film, action sci-fi, blends into the film we'll talk about later. And this is about a multiversal agent, a rogue multiversal agent who's on a manhunt for a different version of himself. So you're getting a bit of a multi-dimensional here. And they're looking for the one because there's only one that is basically truly, the best, maybe.
Yeah.
So he gets to fight himself, Jet Li. But in this one, there's lots of special effects, a bit like Matrix and stuff like that. A lot of bendy kind of visuals and stuff. But really interesting film when it came out. I kind of enjoyed it. But yeah, this is seeing Jet Li kind of, I wouldn't say his best because there's too much special effects for it to see his best, but a good film for Jet Li to break into the American sort of Western markets.
Yeah.
So yeah, give this one a go.
Check it out. The one, this next one, oh my gosh, Devout, seriously, I haven't seen it, but I just did the whole kind of reading up the synopsis and everything. It's called Ebola Syndrome from 25 years ago, 1996. And the synopsis is, oh my gosh, a serial rapist contracts Ebola from one of his victims and starts an outbreak in Hong Kong. Oh my gosh. That's just mad.
Crazy. I mean, just think about that. That's crazy. This film is, I think it's a Chinese film. Yeah. So, yeah, I've not seen it yet myself, but I'm interested to see. I mean, think about a weapon. That's a weapon and a half. Can you imagine? That's a weapon right there because Ebola is a serious disease. It's like so much more deadly than coronavirus. If we get it, it's like 80% chance you're not going to survive. It's crazy. So yeah, this is an interesting one, but this links into Songbird, which I'll briefly talk about after. The last film I'll talk about real quickly is the Andromeda strain. And this one, usually we go from 2011 to 1991. So we'll cover 30 years. But this one I thought, you know what? We're going to go way back.
Way back, man.
Way back into time. And the Andromeda strain is 1971. So before my time, I know you was a young man at that time, wasn't you?
Nah, I was still itching my daddy's pants, man. Seriously.
This one stars James Olsen, Arthur Hill, David Wayne, Kate Reed. This one is a film that talks about, a scientific film, and it's about a deadly virus, isn't it? So the deadly virus goes loose in a sort of town of residents, and they're trying to basically stop the virus from spreading and trying to stop the Andromeda strain. So it's got a really cool name to it, but it's linked to Songbird, which we'll talk about. It's linked to what we're going through today, viruses spreading and trying to stop it, how society deals with it. And this was back in 1971. So, I mean, long time ago, but really relevant today.
Man, listen, the guy this based on a novel written by a guy called Michael Crichton, who was behind...
Yep. Jurassic Park and Westworld.
Exactly, man. They say you know more. But yeah, that name, the Andromeda strain, it's just kind of got this kind of ominous kind of feeling to about it. So yeah, man, it sounds good. All right, okay, folks. So those are your anniversary corner movies. Go check them out. Please do let us know if you see them, and let us know what you think. Okay, on to film reviews. Now, Deval, so Outside the Wire, which is a new Netflix exclusive. It's a Anthony Mackie movie. It's a Damson Idris movie, who's this young British actor. We've seen him before. We saw him in a movie. I saw him in a movie called Farming. You watched the movie as well. You've seen him in, what did you say he appeared in? Was it Black Mirror as well?
Black Mirror, also Snowfall. Really good TV show.
It's kind of weird when this kind of was, when I saw the trailer for it, because I didn't know what to make of it. Anthony Mackie, he's a huge star, and he's been in the Marvel movies, but he's also working on these projects outside of the Marvel universe, because at the end of the day, you can't just kind of rely on one studio for your stuff, right? So he's got a big enough name that he can go out to lead, a movie like this. I mean, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's a Hollywood star, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, through and through. And this one is like set in the year 2036. There's a war breaking out in Russia, Ukraine, and the Yanks are involved because they're kind of like trying to keep the peace.
As always,
obviously. Yeah, but obviously this is Hollywood. So they're involved. They're trying to keep the peace in some sort of way. And what I found interesting was this thing where obviously it's set in the future, and it gave me this kind of chappy vibe to it because of the use of the robots. Did you kind of get that feeling as well?
Yes, like dirty kind of futuristic robots, isn't it?
There's nothing kind of glamorous about them. They just literally,
No.
like, the parts stuck together, and like, you can hear the whizzing going around in their brains and stuff like that, right? But, in my mind, when I was watching the movie, I thought, shit, you know what? This could be just around the corner.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is the next step in military tech warfare for sure. That they can, like, obviously drones is the first stage of that, and going forward on the ground, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So the movie starts off with kind of like this big action set piece. Damson Idris, he plays a drone pilot. He makes an executive. Well, he basically he breaks protocol. He doesn't follow order. He makes an executive decision which causes the death of 2 people, but also saves 38 people's lives. So he's this kind of person who thinks outside the box, but he's also not following orders, and that lands him in some trouble. And he gets teamed up with Anthony Mackie, who's basically chosen, he's requested him, and he's like, look, you're going to be with me. You did this huge little bit, screw up, but you're going to be with me on this kind of mission that we've got to do, and you got to basically follow my lead. Anthony Mackie, he plays a captain, but unbeknownst to everyone else in the movie, Anthony Mackie is what is he? He's not AI, he's not a robot. What is he, Deval?
Yeah, I don't know what he's like a synthetic android humanoid. I don't know what he is. He's like. Yeah, he's like the T1000, but not fluid.
Yeah,
I don't know what he
exactly.
is.
He's just next gen, state of the art. Probably hundreds of millions worth of dollar. Like the government is pumped into this thing, and he's basically leading the mission, and they're off on something. I can't even kind of remember exactly what the whole mission was. Deval, can you remember what it was?
Yeah, they're going to give some sort of supplies, something to save people. That's what he said. But obviously, there's more insidious plans going on there. But yeah, they were going to give some sort of antidote or something to help people, basically.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, the special effects are decent. There's some areas in there where I thought, actually that looks actually really real. Like I said before, it had that chappy vibe to it, that District 9 kind of vibe to it, set in Eastern Europe, and derelict buildings, kind of like, closed down buildings. So kind of, they chose their location really well. The acting's decent as well. Like I said before, Anthony Mackie, he's kind of got this leading star, persona and everything. But you know what, Deval? I don't know. It just it didn't hit all the right marks for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know what you mean. For me as well, it didn't really. I'll give it like probably a 6.5 or something.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, but it wasn't memorable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was some fun moments to it, some like I said, some special effects moments and stuff like that. But the Anthony Mackie's character, I think, was cool. Damson Idris's character, I think they wrote him to be a bit too weak.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. It was a bit too weak. He wasn't popping off shots. Yeah, he was there because he made a mistake and didn't follow a direct order, and he's going there to learn a lesson. But I mean, this guy was frail. He wasn't shooting anyone. And he just seemed a bit, out of place. But I guess that's how they wrote him to be. But yeah, altogether, I think the film wasn't great, but it wasn't shit.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between. There were a few funny bits though. They kept calling Anthony Mackie's character Cap, and I think they did it on purpose as a nod to Captain America. Yeah. And there was a bit in the film where he said, "Oh, I can do this all day." And again, that's a bit of a nod to Captain America, because he says in Captain America, "I can do this all day." He always says that. So they kind of gave a few nods to Marvel. This was filmed, I think, in a location near Ukraine, or kind of not far from the Chernobyl disaster.
Wow.
Like a very derelict sort of factory warehouse sort of place. So to give it that authenticity, it was filmed, a power station not too far away. So interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, so I agree with totally exactly what you said there with the rating and everything. But I mean, I would probably watch Chappie over this. And then if if you're not doing anything else, then you can maybe put on, Outside the Wire. But yeah, so go check it out
Yeah.
and let us know what you think. All right, Devaldo,
Yeah.
speak to us
Real
about
quick,
Songbird.
real quick. This is probably going to be the quickest review you're ever going to hear. Songbird is actually now available on Amazon. Songbird is about it's about COVID 2024, 2023, I believe.
Wow.
And basically they made it during the pandemic, during the first pandemic.
Whoa.
And yeah, so, hats off to them for making a film during, really difficult circumstances. Got to give it to them for that. But yeah, Songbird is shit. Just to save you time here. Songbird is shit. It's I don't know what's going on. I mean, yeah, it's a pandemic. It's COVID 2024. It's in Los Angeles. They're talking about people that are infected, people that are immune, and they have a yellow band, which means they can go around and do their own thing. But most people that get infected, they're taken away by the authorities to some sort of special camp where no one sees them again, pretty much. So it's all it's like Los Angeles is derelict. It's a bit crazy. AJ Apart is in this one. Craig Robinson's in this one. Demi Moore's in it. Peter Stormare's in it. It's got a bit of it's just mad. You know what? Don't waste your time on this one. I watched it, hour and 20 minutes long, and I regretted it. This is not a good film, even though the premise is really interesting,
Yeah.
but it's just soppy. The main film is about these two people, man and woman, who love each other, and because of the pandemic, they can't kiss, they can't fuck. And do you know what? At the end of it, I still didn't care. But yeah, that's it. That's my review, guys. Don't. This one is it's a bit of a dry film, to
Oh
be honest. I'm
gosh.
surprised at it. 4.4 on IMDb. I'll probably give it a
Oh
4.
my gosh.
So that's that.
No, exactly. That's that. And the funny thing is, though, a few months ago, we saw the trailer. And, this is the thing with trailers. They cut these trailers so well that when you watch a trailer, you think, oh my gosh, I definitely got to watch a movie. And it was a movie which I thought to myself, like, yeah, I want to see what happens because it's filmed during the pandemic. And I remember you telling me, you've been sitting on this review for a bit, and you said to me, "Oh, it's shit, it's terrible." So yeah, it just goes to show you, man, they put so much effort in the trailers, but the movies flipping bollocks, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so Devaldo,
Cool. So maybe we'll give you the hidden gem maybe next week if possible. We did say we got quite a lot to pack in. So yeah, I think we've done a good job there in packing it in. So
exactly.
we hope you enjoyed that this week.
And like always, folks, get in touch with us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and let us know what you're watching. If you've seen any of the movies that we've spoken about on today's episode, then please do let us know. And Deval, just remind everyone, how can they win a Rakuten movie code?
Yeah, this week, Rakuten movie code, just let us know a hidden gem that you want us to review. So hidden gems are movies that are not like, your blockbusters and your typical sort of, mainstream movies, but something that not many people know about, but is really good. So let us know a hidden gem, please. Let us know on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, however you want to do it. And I'll send you that Rakuten movie code so you can rent a movie in the comfort of your own home.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. Thanks for joining me on this one, Devaldo. I will see you again next week.
Definitely. Peace out, guys. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.